Oh my God, there's all these recording devices.
No, this looks...
Yeah, no pressure or anything.
God, I've got to say something marginally interesting.
Mourinho. I don't know why I'm thinking of Mourinho, but I just saw him the other day with lots of microphones in front of him. But we're not going to talk about football.
And we've lost Dan. That is brilliant. He was with me a second ago and we've lost him. That is the classic Danny john-jules. How the hell did we do that? Where'd he go?
He's gone to the loo.
Gentlemen,
Which is acceptable
that is an acceptable
for a human being, never mind a human being.
The most common phrase on the set of Red Dwarf is, "Where's Danny?"
Are there any stories he wouldn't want you to tell that you'd like to tell before he gets here?
No, we're very happy to tell them when he's here because he'll then verify that they're all true.
How long have you got?
All day.
We can make more time.
Lens is lens galore. It's a lens feast. It's a lens and mic feast. And because they're all so advanced these days.
Well, they're very these young people. They know all about us.
We're
Probably going out live on Periscope or.
There's a fizz of electromagnetism sort of making us even older than we are. Dan's here.
Apparently, someone always has to be fashionably late.
And you're prepared to adopt that tough role, Dan.
I am the Mayweather of sci-fi. I've even got a baseball cap on.
After so many years, what it feels like to still have the privilege of getting to do this.
And it is a privilege, actually, because Doug's scripts are as strong as ever.
Yeah.
And it's taking us into some very interesting areas. And some of the guest performances on this show, to me, 12 is the show of great guest performances, and it's, it beggars belief, actually, some of the talent out there. And in many ways, because we've been doing the show for so long with the same chemistry and everything, when someone comes in and does this fantastic, cameo plus, it's a joy to see, as Ryan Gage, for example, in episode 1.
Oh, yeah.
And the great Johnny Vegas, and watching his performance unfold in the episode the other week was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's 30 years now, and it's fabulous to be back. And I will let someone else get a word in.
No.
No.
I agree with everything you say.
Everything, yeah. But you could see it. When you do a new show, you have to sort of get to know everybody, and it takes a couple of seasons. And Well, now when we get, you just get in. Everybody knows what they have to do, and it's just about how funny we're going to be off camera.
Yeah.
That's what basically.
Well, it's what keeps us going.
It's what keeps you going.
It's that energy that is what is vital to it. As the years have passed.
I used to sit around with the guest stars because I don't watch you guys. Sit around with Marilyn.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah.
And
Elvis.
Yeah. And Elvis.
Oh my goodness, you've been a wonderful audience.
What do you think the lasting appeal is of Red Dwarf? Why is it still such a big thing?
Because it's funny.
I mean, it is. No. I think Doug explained it recently because we've often said, for us it is the writing. So when we read those scripts the first time, it's the kind of nearest we get to the audience seeing it for the first time. So it's kind of very, and they're amazing scripts, even though they will change so radically after we first read them. He'll rewrite them all. But Doug has said, I think very generously, but it's the chemistry. So he can write it. He can hear our voices when he's writing it. So he's therefore writing it very much with us in mind. And it's that chemistry that I don't know how you could create that. You could, or like you'd set a project with some big American media corporation. We're going to create this great, and it just takes years. That's it's that kind of, in a sense, it's that. And I think it's never been fashionable. That's always my feeling about it. Red Dwarf's never been fashionable, but it's also never been unfashionable. So it's never, it's not locked into any era. So it's not like watching but it's not like watching an 80s sitcom, because it wasn't an 80s sitcom in the 80s. It didn't fit in with the 80s or the 90s or the,
and something is set in space like this does age less than, or age better, when you look at sort of the early series, it's not like looking at, say, something like, an Earthbound sitcom back in the day, which
The British Empire, for example.
I think, while we're on that, while we're on that, young man, well done, well brought up.
Well, I'm from Wingwood, so...
Are you?
We've seen
Sounds like Reggie Perrin. There's talk about some more of that, and it would be nice to see. It would be interesting to see that in the 21st century with a different era than that. But you're right. Yeah, that Earthbound sitcom dates that, whereas Red Dwarf, set in space. The actors have aged a little bit.
Tiny bit. Just tiny bit.
But it's its own separate world.
They never thought we were actors either. That was a good thing.
Well, we weren't really.
No,
Maybe
they
still
used to
not.
say if
Still not.
only
No,
we'd
I've
have booked
managed to-
actors.
Yeah.
Because we were all like from the comedy circuit. Stuff
Yeah,
like
I was doing musical theatre, and there wasn't, any real lovies, as to say.
Yeah.
Smash acts.
And I think what that gave was you had people that were used to walking into a nightclub or a bar and doing their act with complete strangers, or you'd have to get to know all the people in there immediately.
Yeah.
There's no time to go in there and go, oh, what's this about? Because you're on stage. So when we got into the room originally, it was just that immediate chemistry. Everyone will know this.
Danny. I was having.
He answered.
I'm in a press conference, darling.
I was having breakfast.
Yes, we're in the press conference.
And Danny was there in the hotel. And Danny says, I'm just going up to
we'll
the
be
room
at lunch
to get
afterwards.
my key.
Yeah.
And off he went, leaving his phone on the table with all these people having breakfast like that.
We're in
Suddenly
the,
that bloody thing goes off in the middle of breakfast.
Everyone looks at you.
Everyone looks at me and I was going, so sorry.
South Gallery, room 6.
Didn't it go off during filming as well, you were saying?
It did go off.
Yeah,
Danny was on the phone when we were shooting in front of the audience. We could hear him. Yeah, I'll be over there later on tonight, guy. Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't get that gig. Now I'm pissed off. Right, what do you want? No,
That was Tom Cruise.
that was Tom Cruise ringing. Get out of my closet. No. No, joke.
Now you've had it's the most expensive episode of Red Dwarf you've ever done, where everyone gets to be dressed up as mechs. How much more sympathy do you now have for Crichton, and how funny was it watching everyone else have to go through wearing a full suit?
I think he had the best fun because, he's sitting there like Lord such, He's just looking at her suffering, going, you see? No. But he was very supportive because obviously we felt his pain many years ago, like there have been occasions, and Robert will tell you, where me and Craig were coming in to the hotel from a night out and Bobby's leaving to get his makeup done. So, I mean, in those days, how many hours did it take?
Five, just over 5 hours.
So there were occasions where we would cross each other in the hotel foyer, and so we're coming in like this, and Robert's going out like that.
In Manchester.
Yes, in Manchester.
Mad for
I was in
Manchester.
bed.
Yes.
Chris had been in bed since 8 o'clock the evening before.
Half a pint of best bitter, followed by a mug of Horlicks.
And just a touch of Vinos to put it down,
You never know. Vinos.
Vinos.
I had both.
But yeah, there was a moment as I got out the lift and Craig and Dan were getting in, and Craig's going, come up to your room, Bobby, have a drink. This is like 5 in the morning. I go, I've got to go to work. There's a
We've
taxi.
been to the Hacienda.
Yeah.
But Robert deserves
Yeah.
much massive fee over and above his regular fee.
Because we just used to go, I ain't never going to do that.
35 times a series or something, you get
I
that?
don't even know.
It's
It's just
on.
a lot.
And the first day, I was ill at the end of the day.
He was
retired.
Mate, I had the bends when I was doing the cast. That is freaky.
Yeah, the cast is.
The cast
that's
is
the
really
worst
weird
bit.
because
Very tiring.
no one just breathes through their nose. You don't practice that. So all of a sudden, hey man, you can only breathe through your nose. How do you do that?
Yeah.
And then of course you're already covered in. And then as it's drying, it's doing this on your head.
It gets hotter.
And then you get more and more claustrophobic as it goes along.
You feel the lifting, the glue failing, and the thing lifting, and then
Apparently, when
rivulets falling down, you can't scratch.
Apparently, when one of these guys did Johnny Depp, and he freaked out and got up and started running around with his head on.
So I was just going to say that they were it was a lot tougher for them than it was for me. I've done it for years. I've done it for years, and also I got used to it before I did any kind of serious filming. So to jump straight in, put a mask on for the first time, and then do quite complicated scenes, really difficult. That is very tough. So I wouldn't wish it on anyone ever.
Crossovers, like maybe with Death in Paradise or something like that, just like any other.
What, Red Dwarf in Death in
Yeah.
Or
Well, we
death,
kind
just
of
forget
did.
Death in Space.
Yeah, but we did kind of do that with Craig and Coronation Street, which was quite
Yeah.
bizarre. That was very odd.
Yeah,
That
it'd be
quite
funny to just find that someone had killed Hattie. And the four suspects were these guys.
Oh,
It weren't me.
is that better?
I wouldn't like to wear a Crichton mask in Guadeloupe.
No, Guadeloupe and prosthetics would.
Well, no, but the thing is, what they should do, they should land in Saint Marie. You don't have to say Death in Paradise.
Yeah.
If they just landed in Saint Marie, this is a
Oh yeah,
boat
we'll
set.
come in that case.
No,
That's the plan.
but that's always
Every holiday, you say yes.
the amount of times we've been hearing about the next series. We don't do it anymore, but they used to always say, "So we're going to do the opening stuff. We're filming all that in Morocco." And we go, "Oh
Yeah,
wow,
great.
And
And it ends up in Clapham.
It was always either Clapham, a sewage works in Clapham, or a quarry,
Real beach.
Quarry in Real Beach.
Real beach.
or a quarry off the
Or
M25.
that water pumping station.
Yeah.
The water pumping station was
famous
a classic.
water pump.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time down the sewers.
Everyone uses that place now.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Sundry.
Sundry.
Sunbury.
Sunbury,
I knew it
yeah.
had sun in it.
Remember John Pomp lit that?
Yeah.
I mean, beautiful. Think about it. He used to like Question of Sport, and then he lit that place up, and it was like a big movie.
Yeah.
It was extraordinary.
Top man.
Actually, going back to the heads thing, how was it for you with all of your character just being a head? So how was the acting experience with that?
Oh, it was my first acting experience anyway, so I was glad of it. I was glad I didn't have to walk and talk anywhere at the same time. So it was just black
good
polo
gig.
neck jumper. Yeah.
It's a good gig.
Against the black background, and then a bit like this, sitting here like this, really.
Well, most actors can't walk and talk anyway.
And I haven't got.
It's like
I don't
opera, isn't it?
talk like this.
They never have them walking. It's hard. They can't seem to put. So if you notice on operas, they're either sitting on a big rock, and then he's leaning on the proscenium arch, and then he's sort of Pavarotti, playing a young Romeo, 40 stone, and he's singing Romeo, for goodness sake. That's supposed to look like Beckham.
So when do you start your promotional job?
I thought we should do that, Red Dwarf the Opera.
Get a question
a
in quick.
musical note here. I wondered if there's any chance of any more big song and dance numbers in future Red Dwarf episodes?
Who are you looking at?
Preferably?
Yeah.
Right now.
Right now.
Who are you looking at when you say that?
Mostly at you because
I was going to wonder, because you couldn't be talking about these three. Did you hear she can't walk and talk?
I think there's not a lot. There's not a
Oh,
lot
I
of
can
enthusiasm. There's not a lot of enthusiasm from Craig to do. I think
Yeah, no. The last time
You can
we
see
did,
Craig and I counting.
you can see
the
them
counting
plotting my
steps.
murder. Actually, it's like you can see we're going to kill him tonight. But no. Well, I've done 3 already in the show.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
You did one per episode for Late Marion.
No, I tell you what, I've already got the backing track for my next song. You don't believe me, do you?
I believe.
I've met you before, I believe
So whilst we're waiting, in the past 30 years, you guys have had
He's got the idea. Well away.
No, you go.
Guys, what have your favourite lines been, respectively, over the years?
You take your pick of
Maybe.
mine.
I've come to know you all.
Oh, I
As
love
people that I've met.
I've come to regard you all.
Over the years.
Over the years, I can't remember mine. No, in fact, forget that one. We've blown that one.
Right.
It's my duty as a complete and utter bust. There are quite a few, though. That's the great thing about Red Dwarf. That's why we keep going back to it, because there's so much funny banter.
So I'm fine, thank you, Susan.
Oh, what about that trout one? I like
Oh God, yeah, but that was the. God, yeah, I can only remember the word trout. I compared your mother to a bloated old piscine. That's about all I can remember. That was a killer, that speech.
That must have been Rimmer's mother.
Yes, that's right, because it was who's that old trout? That was it. And then
Was
you
that
go,
Injustice?
God, it was in series 3. I can't remember what episode.
it's with the rimmer upside down in the tree, little kid rimmer. And all
Yeah.
that. Was it the thingy tension sheet? Was it that one?
No, that was
What's
later.
the one you
wasn't
did at that speech? You're a boo-boo.
yes.
Parts of oil on the side of pasta or something.
See, it's a more complicated question than you thought.
it? Yeah, that's the danger of asking us what our favourite lines is.
Yeah,
we'll,
yeah.
we'll half remember them. What we basically need is a fan to correct us.
During that we get all the ad lib as well, which just makes it diamond.
I would just like to say, there's a big wibbly wobbly thing and it's coming straight towards us. Was almost used on Thursday's episode.
It was.
Yeah. Oh!
We've had quite a few wibbly wobblies over the years, and some swirly whirlies. So we like to keep the science
Return
accurate.
to the few favourites.
In about an hour, Dan will play us this music.
No, you keep going. I'm just trying to.
What was Norman's favourite line? That was was April, May, June, July, August, December, and whatever comes after that.
Was it April, May, June, July, and August full? Something like that.
Something like that. Lister, we'll line.
So
Let's get out there and swat it.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat you little fishy.
Oh,
Thrash
yeah.
metal version coming.
Today's fish is trout a la creme.
So,
There you
you
go.
we
go
gotta
and
go
get the steps done.
Rehearse what?
Rehearse that.
Oh, don't worry, man. She thought I was joking. Don't you worry, baby.
Well, thank you very much for listening to us.
Right.